Baseball season is in its last leg, and everyone's excited about who they think is going to be at the World Series. Now, most Americans watch it on TV, and if they don't, well, they at least listen to it on the radio. Now, Stateside found a sports broadcaster who's the voice behind the Oakland A's post-game show, Extra Innings.
Hi, I'm Robert Buan. I'm an announcer and I'm the broadcasting manager for the Oakland Athletics. Come on up. Here we go. I actually have two jobs with the A's. One of which is it's a front office job. I'm the broadcasting manager for the A's. So there's a lot of behind the scenes work and just kind of little things like getting people's tickets. People call us for tickets and we'll get those set up. A lot of it is getting ready for the game just by reading stuff on the internet, kind of what everybody does, the regular baseball fan. Well, I was born originally, I wasn't born here, as I like to tell people. I was born in a faraway place called Kansas. But I came back to the Bay Area to go to college. I went to Santa Clara University. I'm the oldest of three boys, and I'm 29 years old. Getting up there now. My mom grew up in Quezon City, on Chico Street in Quezon City, and the house that she grew up in, we still have a lot of extended family that live there. I've been to the house twice there, but that's where she grew up. My dad grew up in Manila, and in fact, because he was 4 when he came over, he doesn't really remember too many of the spots where he lived when he was there. I'm more in tune with the culture than the language, and so that's part of the problem. From talking to my grandma a lot, she's trying to teach me a little more Tagalog, but to be honest, most of the stuff that I know is I know the foods and names of the foods, and I know when I'm in trouble. I think a lot of first-generation kids are exposed to the older relatives always speaking Tagalog or Ilocano around each other, and the kids really not knowing unless they're taught to speak it. I definitely am into sports. I'm more of I like Major League Baseball. I love the NFL. Well, I love watching that on TV. That's probably my favorite sport to watch. I'm really big on college basketball. That's really how I got my start, was doing college basketball stuff in Santa Clara. But as far as sports that I play, I mean, my big thing is skiing. I've been skiing since I was 8 years old. Extra Innings. We're going to take one quick break. When we come back, we'll talk to Jeremy about some of his thoughts on a looming matchup, a rematch in the division series. It's sort of a soap opera for guys. You know, it's like soap operas, they're somewhat predictable. There's going to be ups and downs, but it's sort of the story of the whole thing. I mean, it's baseball sometimes gets a rap, like these guys are, you know, they're standing around most of the time, or, you know, there's no contact, so how can they get hurt that much? And it's sort of the grind of the whole thing. It's a story that's 6 months long, and there's lots of little subplots that sort of weave into the story of a season. That's the part about it, the sport that I like. Now, is this right? This can't be right, because I'm looking at my notes. I'm actually the first announcer of Asian American heritage that's been hired by a Major League Baseball team ever. So I mean, I sort of take it responsibly in the sense that there's probably reasons why there haven't been a lot of Asians working in this industry, because of maybe a lack of exposure to the game and a lack of exposure to the actual broadcasting industry. The more I think about it, it's a greater responsibility, so I just try not to think about it. There's one guy that I'm around every day is Bill King, the voice of the A's and the longtime voice of the Raiders and the Warriors. I mean, it's weird still for me to talk to other people who ask if I know Bill King. Yeah, I see the guy every day, and you know, I have to make sure that, you know, he's got his popcorn and all of his notes and everything that I do on a daily basis. But stepping back from that, just being able to be around Bill King every day is it's a real treat.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Robert is so well-rounded, it's sometimes hard to believe. Just about anything we seem to need in the booth, he's available to provide it. On the other hand, he coordinates our own broadcast with all of the network affiliates. There's so much that almost goes undescribed because you never know. There are nuances every night, but Robert has more input into the broadcast. I tend to think he has a very puckish sense of humor, among other things, and a very sharp and incisive wit.
Just having an avenue to use creativity and to be able to employ free thinking, to me that's priceless. I mean, it's almost like I'm a writer in the sense that whatever I'm going to be saying is going to be heard if your radio is on. There's a lot of gravity to that to me, knowing that there's sort of this canvas that I could paint on. That's the radio waves. That's pretty inspiring to me.
When the boys of summer are in training, Robert secures contracts from the radio affiliates that broadcast his show. Now, for you baseball fans, can you name 2 Filipino Americans that have played in the major leagues? That answer when Stateside returns.